Though many would argue that social media has a host of useful purposes, it's definitely not without its drawbacks.
Yes, apps like Instagram and TikTok are guilty of platforming countless problematic images, videos and trends. So the question is, how do we keep our children safe amid the unregulated Wild West that is social media in 2023?
Well, this morning we're joined by child development psychologist Dr. Amanda Gummer, as well as child safety online expert Jessica Chalmers, who are both here to discuss how children can utilise social media in a positive and constructive way. Amanda, let's start with you. Is social media to blame for unruly kids?
No, that's far too simplistic. It has issues and we do need to learn to manage it, but you can't blame social media for children's behaviour or, as you say, unruly kids. It's not that simple.
I mean, obviously, it's really difficult when you're a parent trying to stop your children going on social media. I've had that experience where, you try and stop them and then you find that they're at school and they're going on their friend's phone to get on social media anyway. So inevitably, you kind of give into it. But it's how do we protect them? Because social media, you get everything you want, but you also get everything you don't want. And if you search something, the algorithms will change and then all of a sudden you're getting shown more of that or anything that's sort of related to any words that you've used. And it can just open, a Pandora's box. Mm.
Yeah, so I think there's some really key tips for parents to take on board. And the first thing is, the platforms have an age limit for a reason. There are emotional and social and cognitive developments that need to happen in a child before they are able to handle what's going on and make that difference between a real world and a digital world. So I think, keeping kids offline until they're sort of early teens is definitely a good thing. But there are safe spaces for children to start exploring the online world that are specifically kid-friendly. And I think, introducing them to that, but also doing it gradually, like you do with anything with children. Start give them the training wheels. So you're their friend when they first have an account. You have their password when they first have a phone. That's the deal at which this happens, and they have to earn their independence and their privacy, and they do that by showing that they can use it responsibly. And the other thing, and I think this is probably the most important thing, is having great communication with your kids as they grow up, so that when they do find something online that they don't understand or that worries them or that they find disturbing, you're the first person that they talk to about it, and they don't go deeper into the web to try and find answers.
Absolutely agree with you what you're saying, but I think it goes deeper than that in the sense that, I remember when my daughter was 13 and she got TikTok when it first came out. I think it used to be called Musical.ly or something like that. Right. And she was on it and then she got banned from it because she wasn't allowed to be on it. So they open another account under a different name. We don't know this as parents, and they're getting blocked constantly. So obviously they're trying to do this, but kids find ways. That's the scariest part. And of course, if any of these children are self-critical about themselves or, because obviously you find good things on these social media, but, the body image of Instagram, if you feel self-confident and you're critical about yourself, it can only make it worse. If you're looking at things that don't make you feel good about yourself. So how can
which is why Sorry, I was going to say, which is why we advocate this balanced play diet approach. So social media and screen time is absolutely fine, but it has to go into the mix of a healthy, balanced play diet. So kids are getting lots of face-to-face play time with their mates. They're getting lots of active play. They're getting lots of imaginative, free, child-led play. And they're like the superfoods of the play diet. So if your child is getting that, they're more likely to be resilient. They're more likely to have positive body image. They're more likely to have healthy real life relationships, so they're going to be less vulnerable to some of the toxicity that you see online. So I think making sure that children, if they are using social media, that they're doing it in a managed, limited way, in the same way that you don't let your kids eat sweets and chips for every meal. It's part of a balanced diet, but it's an okay part, but it just needs managing.
Jessica, let's bring you in at this stage, because something that really concerns me, I use TikTok, I really like it actually for things like recipes, but the algorithms seem to be really, really intelligent. They notice what you're watching, what you're lingering over, and if a child stumbles across harmful content like pro-anorexia content or pornography, the phone, the tablet, whatever you're watching it on, will feed you more of the same content, won't it? And that is a really slippery slope, and it's very, very difficult to manage.
Yeah, that is the problem with social media. The longer you linger on a content, the more it will show you. And of course, with young people, if something is shocking, they're going to linger longer on that, which is a problem. My advice would be to talk to your children about the potential dangers of the online world and educate them and guide them on what to do if they come across, any of these dangers. And the big thing I'd say is to kind of teach your children to block and report accounts, and talk to a trusted adult. If they see something which makes them feel weird inside or makes them feel sad, talk to a parent or a trusted adult.
So I just wanted to bring in someone like, say, Andrew Tate, okay, who is a very intelligent person, and some of the things he says are clever and some of the things he says might be okay. But then along with that, he'll also put views in that are not quite right for kids to hear, and the whole misogynist side and that side of it. So what do you do when someone is clever and they're saying things that are true and you're thinking, OK, that's great, but then they add in all their views that aren't right? This is a really tough to navigate as a parent, and to see your kids kind of being influenced by, Andrew Tate, Mizzy, for example, who's just been arrested.
Yeah, it's a big problem. And I think one of the things parents need to do is, it's a simple thing, but it's to talk to your children, cultivate a conversation, talk to them all the time about, about their online lives, whether it's asking questions like, how's your Minecraft world coming along? Or what made you laugh on TikTok? Or what was funny on YouTube? Because if we talk about the everyday, then they're used to having that conversation with us. And if they do come across something like Andrew Tate, they'll be more open to having that conversation with us.
And I just wanted to ask you about, Amanda, about Mizzy. So this is the YouTuber who plays pranks on people, those pranks, some of them being quite serious, like stealing people's dogs or going into somebody's house without permission. Those people have young kids, and it's absolutely terrifying them. And those videos then go viral. He's actually been in court over this twice now. But there is a worry, isn't there, that we are feeding the beast, that social media, that followers, that likes, it just encourages that sort of controversial behaviour.
Yeah, completely. And I think, the media has a role to play in, choosing what stories it reports and how it reports them. And I think, giving this airtime puts it on more people's radars, so they're going to check it out, and then it becomes it grows out of control, and that becomes they've won then, haven't they? They've served their purpose.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mizzy has apologised since then, but the problem is the damage is done a lot of the times, and it just seems to it seems to be an open book for anyone to do whatever they want. And you really think these big companies have got a handle on it, and they do put safety measures in place, but they're just not strong enough. Definitely agree with you too, Jessica, about being able to talk to them and just ask them questions about what they were watching and almost do it in a friendly way. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Jess, what would you say is the best response to someone like Mizzy? I mean, children, teenagers are really exposed to his videos at the moment. How do you explain that to children and protect them from the sorts of things that he's doing?
Well, I think a good thing to talk to your children about as a parent is to remind them, that what Mizzy's doing is unacceptable, but also to remind them about their digital footprint, and, which basically the moment they make their first post or comment online, it's going to follow them for the rest of their lives. And I think if they're aware of that, and they maybe want to go to job one day or go to university one day, if they know that everything that they're posting online and commenting online is going to stay with them, that might make them think twice about, following and thinking what Mizzy's doing is a good thing.
Where are the parents in all of this? I mean, you know, everyone's saying, oh, the law's not strong enough and you know, the law's weak and all that. But where are the parents? I mean, if I did something like that, my dad, boy, I mean, where are the parents sort of going out and saying, look, what my son has done is absolutely unacceptable. I apologise on his behalf. He's going to be reprimanded, whatever. But you don't hear that. It's just about whether the law are tough enough or not. But we've got parents that we have to take some responsibility here, or at least, you know, to discipline them in some way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the issues that I'm seeing with modern day parenting, I guess, is parents don't want their children to fail in any way. They don't want them to, so they get them out of binds. We're actually, children need to learn natural consequences. So if they do something wrong, then they do need to go and apologise to the neighbour and put it right and offer to mow the lawn or to do whatever it is, and to show that they actually they understand that they've done something wrong and that they're sorry. And I think parents are quite quick to not have their child labelled as naughty one or come across you know, negatively in any situation. So they overcompensate, and I think they overprotect the children from natural consequences of their behaviour. I think it's a really important tool for children to learn that behaviours have consequences.
OK, Amanda, Jessica, we've got to leave it there, I'm afraid, but a really fascinating conversation. Thank you so much for your company. You will certainly have a view on that at home, gbviews@gbnews.com. Let us know what you think, but do stay with us, because we're going to discover why Bulgaria could help Rishi Sunak tackle the small boats crisis.